Joe Biden's second basement campaign. He hid away in 2020, and now he releases a video to announce he's running again. A 3-minute video issued at the crack of dawn Tuesday was a strange way to launch President Biden's re-election bid. Granted, President Obama announced he would run for a second term by video in April 2011, but no one questioned his energy and mental acuity. Not so for Mr. Biden. Many doubt he can last another term. If he's re-elected and serves 4 years, he would be 86, older than all but 7 former presidents ever lived, including Jimmy Carter, who is 98 and left office at 56. You would think the president's team would try assuaging the public's concerns by putting a vigorous, sharp Mr. Biden on display in person. Instead, we got a video. The short film appealed almost exclusively to the Democratic base, elements of which aren't enthusiastic about a second Biden run. The video featured Democratic go-to issues, abortion and voting rights, and familiar attacks, including the charge that Republicans want to gut Social Security to pay for tax cuts for the wealthy. It was all pro forma and blasé. Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization gave Democrats an opening on abortion, but the reproductive rights lobby's absolutist position of no restrictions in the second or third trimester isn't so popular in general elections. Consider the big victories of pro-life governors in Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Ohio and Texas last fall. Voting rights reform isn't necessarily a winner either. Brian Kemp, Georgia's Republican governor, signed a major election law reform and soundly beat the high priestess of voting rights, Stacey Abrams, for the second time, even after Mr. Biden and others criticized the state's law. Missing from Tuesday's video were mentions of the inflation-ravaging family budgets, recession worries, Russia's war on Ukraine, the Chinese threat, crime and the crisis at the southern border. These issues are why the Real Clear Politics polling average shows that nearly 65% of respondents say America is on the wrong track. Mr. Biden doesn't like talking about these issues, but he won't be able to avoid them during the campaign. Some Democratic poobahs posit that Mr. Biden needed to announce now, instead of later in the spring or early summer as originally thought, to start raising money. If so, that's worrisome. Abundant money should be available for a sitting president. But perhaps donors are resisting Team Biden. Tuesday's video will leave no strong imprint, and news of the president's announcement will be drowned out by the debt ceiling fight in Congress, which heats up this week with a crucial House vote. West-wing politicos may not have a problem with that, thinking that a low-key campaign by video may work in 2024, just as campaigning from that Delaware basement did in 2020, especially if the election is a rematch with Donald Trump. It might not play out that way. Take the debt ceiling. Speaker Kevin McCarthy faced a difficult challenge in corralling a majority to pass a GOP bill that raises the debt ceiling while reducing spending. There are 222 Republicans, and 16 had never voted to raise the debt ceiling. Mr. McCarthy could easily have fallen short. But on Wednesday the Speaker's Limit, Save, Grow Act passed 217 to 215. Now the White House has a problem. An April 11 American Viewpoint poll of 87 battleground congressional districts shows that 37% of likely voters favor the administration's position of raising the debt ceiling without cutting government spending, while 50% want spending cuts to accompany any debt ceiling increase. Elements of Mr. McCarthy's package are even more popular, according to the poll. Recovering unspent COVID relief money is a 77% to 14% winner in these districts. Strengthening work requirements for adults receiving government benefits garners 62% in favor versus 27% opposed. Reducing non-defense spending to pre-inflationary levels and limiting future spending growth earns 53% support compared with 35% opposed. Mr. McCarthy has a winning message for swing voters. Mr. Biden's team may believe Tuesday's video puts them on a path to legislative triumphs this year and will help a fragile, sometimes befuddled president overcome Mr. Trump's rearview mirror campaign of rage, grievance, and conspiracy theories. But what if Republicans keep focused on popular policies, as Mr. McCarthy is doing? What if the GOP decides it doesn't want a rerun of 2020 and 2022 and leaves Mr. Trump on the sidelines? Democrats would need more than easily forgotten 3-minute videos. Joe Biden's second basement campaign. He hid away in 2020, and now he releases a video to announce he's running again. A 3-minute video issued at the crack of dawn Tuesday was a strange way to launch President Biden's re-election bid. Granted, President Obama announced he would run for a second term by video in April 2011, but no one questioned his energy and mental acuity. Not so for Mr.